Hello, I'm Rachel. Welcome to my channel. Today I have a houseplant tour for you. I'm going to be showing you all of my houseplants, and I'm pretty excited because I have moved things around a lot and just lots of things are in different places, and some of my plants have been doing phenomenal. Like the it's actually my husband's plant. He has a couple plants I have to take care of during this winter, and because during the summer they go outside and I still take care of them then because I water them and stuff, but right now they're inside, of course, because it's still too cold outside during the nights. And the it generally gets spider mites pretty bad, but last year I figured out that if I spray it with water fairly consistently, then the spider mites don't take it over and it can keep growing. So it's been doing amazing. I keep having blooms on it. It's not in bloom right now, but a couple videos ago I think I showed you it in bloom. Today though, we're just going to go through all of my houseplants, and I'm going to show you my kitchen area that I redid in my last video because right now we have plants growing in it, and we actually have some more seed trays that we're starting to. My husband's been moving them around. He's been really getting into the gardening thing, so he's kind of taken that over. Thank goodness, because I'm not the best at that and he actually has a lot more experience than me. He's starting to take that over, and we're going to be having more videos about outside things like gardening projects. We built a new chicken coop, and we're going to be building a quail coop because we're getting eggs, and we got an incubator, and that's going to be really exciting. Before I get into the houseplant tour though, I want to remind you guys that we are almost at 2,000 subscribers, and when we get there I am going to be doing a giveaway. At this point I'm not sure if I want to do international shipping, but it's definitely going to be US based for sure, of course, and I'm going to be having like 3 giveaways, I think, and I think I have enough supplies for that. So anyways, if it takes a couple months, then maybe I might be able to go back out to the store and get some more, but I'm going to be doing some macrame and some pot hangers, you know, and also some gloves, I think. I'm not sure. I don't have any extra gloves right now, so if I can get some extra gloves, then I'll throw those in there. Otherwise, we'll just be doing some seeds and some macrame and maybe something else if I decide to throw it in there. We'll see. I haven't entirely decided, and usually these things are never set in stone for me until the day that I go and put things together. So I'm really excited for it though, and I love giving people things, so I'm so excited to be giving some of you guys some things from me, and that way, I don't know, it just seems so much fun. So yeah, if you want to get in on that giveaway, then make sure that you're subscribed, and I will eventually post a video about it once we get there. So yeah, I guess that's about it. So let's get to the houseplant tour. The main difference about all this is that I moved my couch. It was right here, and I have to repaint the wall because the couch has scuffed it up really bad. But I want to repaint it a brighter white anyways to go with the HVAC thingy. So I used to have 3 shelves here, but now we just have the one, and I mean, it's fine. I need to repair all these holes, of course, and stuff, but I gotta repaint all that, and I still want to repaint all of this too. Well, it's never been painted, but I want to paint all of this. Anyways, I just have this tradescantia over here now. I used to have a couple of philodendrons and air plants and a spider plant up here too, but now I actually moved this tradescantia up here. This is a Bridal's Veil tradescantia. It's kind of crazy. It's really kind of a crazy plant because it's in a terracotta pot, and it's I put it in here because I thought it looked cool, but it really needs a pot that can hold the moisture in really well, simply because it dries out too fast and I have to water it every week, and I don't like doing that. So a lot of the leaves have, you can see where the stems are kind of bare, and then down here when I figured out that I need to keep watering it more, the leaves are all coming back. But it has little white sweet flowers when it blooms. It's a really fun plant, and it propagates really easily. And of course a little spider plant. And then over here I moved my Pilea mollis down there, and I have a peperomia jolie, or a rainbow peperomia. It used to be in an eastern window, and it did great there for years. It was coloring up a lot over in that eastern window after being in there for a couple years. I don't know what it was. It just all of a sudden it decided to color up like crazy, and it was kind of an orangey yellow. It was really pretty, but then I noticed it was actually just getting too stressed. I put it over here and it's much happier. So I think that I could have left it in the eastern window if I bumped it up a pot size, so that way it had more of a reservoir for water. Being over here where it's far away from any direct light, it's doing just fine, and it's been there for almost a year now-ish. I don't know, at least 2 seasons, so you know, it's doing pretty good. Most of this is the same, but I did switch some things around a little bit, and the spider plant that was up here, I moved down here, and I'm just kind of moving things. So there's an oxalis, the spider plant, some ogre ears, and this fern, which is trying to put out tendrils, that way it can root into something else. It's doing really good. It has all these green leaves in there, and so those green leaves are starting to take over to where there's not as many. All the leaves used to be covered with brown tips, so they're slowly changing out, and they're doing so good because I have moss on this plant. It's just sheet moss that you get at the craft store, and it makes it to where my ferns actually stay alive and they thrive. Well, not all of them. Ugh, some of them are still a pain, but these regular just Boston ferns do great this way, and a couple other of my ferns have done really well that way also, until I did things that they did not like. Then I have an umbrella tree, and this is a younger Swiss cheese plant, Monstera deliciosa, and it has 1 fenestration. I thought that I had another one with fenestrations, but they're pretty big leaves, but this one's probably the biggest. They don't have that many fenestrations. I finally got this one once it was in more light, but it might start getting more once we get into summer, but you know, right now it seems like I need to fertilize it though too. It's getting a little light in some places. This Monstera is a cutting from my cousin's plant that has lots and lots and lots of fenestrations. There. Her whole plant has fenestrations like this one, but this is a really old leaf. Her leaves are a lot bigger than mine as well, but this is an old cutting, and the newer leaves don't have as many fenestrations. And I think part of that is just when it doesn't get as much light, then it doesn't have as many fenestrations. It's kind of interesting. But this one does still have more than this one because this is from an older plant. But I don't know, it's just strange how these plants do these things. Oh, this is a little pilea, I believe, and it was doing really good, but I moved it over here because I had to move some plants around, and it's not liking it over here. I probably should just cut this off and reroot it and then start over again, because I lost the majority of this plant just because I forget that it's back here. Most of these plants are plants I only water every other week, and so this one just, it needs a little bit more attention than I've been giving it, and it's sad because it's one of my favorites because just the color of it, I don't know, I just really like it a lot. So I'll just reroot it. I have actually some of these rooting already, and they root really easily, so it'll be fine. And then I can put another angel wing begonia in there, which reminds me, I'll also have an angel wing begonia in here. It's just kind of hidden from this Monstera. And oh, what is this called? This is a type of peperomia, I believe. Oh, Isabella, I think, is the name of it. And I finally found it, which is amazing. It, of course, is just growing like crazy. I need to go in and fertilize it again. Most of my peperomias and pileas, those kinds of things, don't need to be fertilized very often, but this one does. It starts turning yellow when it doesn't get fertilized enough. But all that I do is give it just like half strength fertilizer of the Spoma brand usually, and it does just fine. I am doing that maybe every few months, kind of like every season. And then I have, this is a marble queen pothos. I don't know how I feel about it. My only variegated pothos that really does very well is this one. This is a pearls and jade is what it says. A lot of you guys say that this is that other one. It starts with an M, but in any case, it does really well and it's keeping the white really, really nicely. Some of this yellowing to it was just from when I had it and it didn't get enough sunlight, and then I moved it closer, like actually really close to my southern window, and then it picked back up, and now it's, there's my southern window, so it's a little ways away, but it's getting just enough light that it doesn't burn or crisp up, and it has lots of nice white to it. Then I have a neon pothos, which has some variation in it, which is fun. A lot of you said that yours has that as well. So yeah, this one has just a little speck to it. I just love these. And I have a big old pothos that is just, it lives in my fish tank. This is where I propagate a lot of things usually, but oh, there's a currant in there too. Seeing if that'll take root. I'm not so sure though, it doesn't seem happy. But my son's kitten likes to take things out of it. Oh, but we have oscillocinclids in here, but the algae was taking over all the Java moss. We have this to where it's more of a natural habitat for them, but the Java moss is now taking over the algae, so it's rebalancing itself and it makes its own oxygen. Usually it has more oxygen in there, but the algae was starting to smother it, and now that the Java moss is taking over again though, it's starting to produce its own oxygen again. This is just a project that we did with only things that we had on hand minus the fish. So yeah, and as you can see, there's not actually really any algae on the glass at all because we have snails in there and oscillocinclids. They're these cool little fishies that suck on the side, kind of like Plecostomus, of course, but they're a lot smaller and you can have quite a few of them in a 10-gallon. What? But you know, the main point of having this is for, whoa, what is that? Wait, whoa, oh my goodness. That's like a baby prayer plant. Whoa, that's so cool. It's amazing the things I find in this thing. I have a piece of plexiglass that I need to cut to make for this. I just haven't cut it yet, and I've just been waiting to get some actually aquaponic cups to go in with this. Sentinel, I'm trying to make a video. I've been waiting for some aquaponics cups to go into this so that way I can cut the plexiglass to fit those rather than these yogurt cups. But it's a nice way to reuse the materials that you have. Back over here, I have a rubber tree and we have a couple of orchids that aren't doing so great, but they're still alive. They've been trying to grow and do things. This did get this leaf this last year, but I don't know, it's still not the happiest plant. This is an Austral gem fern. If you want a fern that does well in a dry climate, then this is your plant for sure. And a little palm thingy, a rubber tree, a little Peperomia obtusifolia, a pilea. Oh, this is my variegated rubber tree, which I really like. It used to have a lot more leaves on the bottom, but I had it in a ceramic pot and it was not happy in that. It was just keeping way too much moisture in it. And so I transferred it to this and it dropped a lot of the leaves. But all of this on the top and this on the top, all of their tops are all new leaves from this last winter, and it's still making more, and they're so pretty. I mean, check that out. That's awesome. A Christmas cactus and a Thanksgiving cactus and an African stick plant. So this one is one of my oldest plants. I've had this one since before I was even married. So I think I've actually had this for about 10 years now. Yeah. Then I have a Dracaena. I had to move this peace lily. It was up on the shelves over there with my other plants, but took those shelves down, so now it's over here. Up here is my mini lipstick plant, which is growing like a beast. It's really doing wonderful things, and the longer it gets, the more I love it. So hopefully one of these days it'll really maybe even cover this up, which might be kind of cool. Which I really like this macrame hanger too. It was a fun one to make. Then over here I have some succulents and cactuses. This one really likes to bloom. I think this is the third time it's bloomed since the winter-ish time. I think it bloomed in the fall and then in the winter, and then right after it bloomed again, and it's doing all this. It's really nice and so fun. Then I have a kalanchoe. I don't remember the name of it. I used to know. If I remember, I'll look it up, but it's like right in a southern window, and yet it's still all trying to plaster itself to the window. But it's growing up even more little starts down at the bottom too, trying to bush out. It's awesome. I love this arrowhead plant. I still don't know what this is. It's some sort of really cool plant. It's not, here, let's move it a little bit. There you go, now you can see it. It's slowly growing. This one, all of these were over in my kitchen before I moved them over here because I had to make room for some seedlings. But then I have a variegated lipstick. Well, I guess technically this isn't a variegated lipstick. This is some other kind of a lipstick because the variegated lipsticks are different. This one is just some sort of one. And I got it because I thought it'd be cool to have in my son's room because it kind of reminds me of crocodiles. I don't know. But this is my just plain old regular lipstick plant. And it is doing pretty good. I think I need to bump it into a bigger pot because it's keeping some wrinkly leaves in some places, and I would like for it to not do that because I have to water it about every week right now just because it doesn't have enough reservoir for water. So one of these days we'll find a new home for you. I was wanting to keep it in there though because I thought that if it stayed in a more confined space, then it would bloom for me sooner. I don't know. Oh, and then I have these on little dishes. I like to do that. This one has a little gold bottom. They're just fun that way. And this is a palm that I got that's not doing so great. It keeps getting knocked out of the thing by the cat, and he likes to rub on it. I don't think it's gonna make it. When I got it, it wasn't so great. Hopefully it'll come out of it, but I'm not betting. Oh, okay, so this one, I showed you maybe last month in a video, this echeveria, it bloomed, but look it's blooming again. Like that stalk just died and it put out another one, and it also has another stalk that it's putting out. Like it's blooming twice. I mean, thank goodness it's not in the middle, so I don't have to worry about the safety of my echeveria, but like, why is it blooming so much? It's crazy. And then I have a kalanchoe orgialis, which this is probably my favorite kalanchoe. I just love the color of the leaves and the texture. It's very soft, but also not. I don't know. It almost reminds me of extremely fine sandpaper. How that's kind of soft, you know? That's kind of the texture of it. And then I have a just hybrid aloe vera and another stick plant that is a cutting from my big one. And then this is the plant that I was telling you about, and it's really loving life. It just finished some blooms. I need to take the stalk off of there. Over here, this is where I had that pilea, was actually up here, but the cats kept going through and knocking it over, and anyways, I had to move it for its safety, and then now it's still not happy. It's actually doing worse. I have a philodendron Brazil. I actually have it up on a brick because I didn't want any books underneath it since it's all in terracotta, and this is doing great in terracotta. I water it about every other week, but I do have a little bit of moss on the top to kind of help it keep some moisture in there, and this pot is aging really nicely. Oh man. Then I have a grape ivy, and it wasn't doing so great. It had some acclimation issues when I got it, but it's come out of it, and this is new. All of these are new within the last couple weeks, so I'm very happy about that. And then I have a Enjoy pothos that has only one thing of it is growing, and it's not keeping any white to it because it's growing over this way for some reason. I'm not super pleased with it. My mom actually has a few Enjoys, and they do great in her house. She's had one there that's like probably over 20 years old even, and anyways, she's just better at houseplants than I am though too. So since I moved my couch, I moved it over here. I've never shown you guys my couch, I think because it's It's hideous, let's be honest. But now I can sit here and I can look at all my plants. So yeah, I really like it. It's really nice. Oh, so I moved my little terrarium over here. I like being able to sit here and see my terrarium also, because that's one of my favorite amethysts. I stole it from my husband. So it's just really pretty and I like it a lot. What are you doing? Over here, I used to have... Do you mind? He's so cute. So over here, I used to have my little terrarium right there, and then I had my Pileomalis right here. And I moved this Black Prince philodendron over here. This used to be on those shelves, and also that philodendron over here, that used to be on those shelves. I don't really like this one over here. I'm not really sure how I feel about it. It seems very low, I don't know. I feel like I need something up higher, so I should grab some books and put it underneath that one probably. Also this Haworthia. And then over here, my son has made a little jungle for the cats. Do you not want to be filmed? What is this? And I moved actually lots of my plants around. I did film that. Yeah, since I moved my couch, I moved my chair to be over on the other wall. And I just have these two over here, this big old tree philodendron, and then my pineapples down there. And so, oh, what the heck? You sure are putting out a weird leaf. Usually the leaves come out really small, and then they get bigger. I'm still trying to figure out this plant though, honestly. It was a clearance plant that I got. It only had a few leaves that were not doing so great, but now it's constantly pushing out new growth. It's just, I'm not sure if it quite has the humidity that it needs, or maybe it just needs some fertilizer. I'm not sure, but I really like it though still, even though it is a little strange. And then up here I have another Dracaena that it's been needing more water lately for some reason. I'm not really sure. I need to move that lavender. That doesn't look good up there anymore. I don't know. Into the craft room, I still have all my shelves over there. That was from the living room, and some other ones just because I want to keep them just in case, because I mean, you always need some good floating shelves, right? But I have my snake plant thing, my Sansevieria. This was in my living room for the longest time, over where like the Monstera is and stuff, but our other cat, when she was a kitten, she kept sleeping in it, and so right now it's all taped together and stuff, and it's in here so that way she can't get to it. Well, she's not sleeping in it anymore, but I don't know. It just seems better and it seems happier in here. Same with this Hoya. This Hoya used to be over by the tree philodendron, and it seems to really like it in here. There's only this eastern window, and then there's also a northern window, but it's under a porch. So it's not really getting tons of light, but this is later in the day, and they still actually seem happy with this amount of light. So I don't know. I use this TV to edit videos on, but my husband got it for free because it has some problems. So it has this, he put this big huge thing with like a heat sink there. So he like goes and he like uses it to dial it or whatever to make it to where it works. But I have to be careful so that way I don't get water on it. So I try to actually only water with reverse osmosis water over here, because that doesn't have any minerals in it. And so if it gets on your electronics, it has less of a chance of damaging it. So anyways, I have a string of bananas over here that I got from my mom because she hated it. And it's a strange plant to figure out where it looks good and where it can be happy. So anyways, right now it's there until I figure out where I want to put it. What are you doing, Sentinel? He's following me around everywhere today. He's such a goober. So then I have this alocasia that it's not doing the happiest, but it's still alive. I'm thinking that I need to repot it into something that's not terracotta. So yeah, anyways, I have a nerve plant and a Fittonia, that's what it's called. and another Peperomia pilea or Gialis, whatever. And Sentinel, you're not allowed on there. What are you doing? Oh, and child toys too. Anyways, yeah, this does okay up here. I have another one in my bedroom too, and they kind of just seem to kind of do fine wherever I put them. I like them a lot when they're shorter, so yeah, I don't know. And then I have a purple waffle plant, and this, what do you want to call it? Sentinel? What are you doing? And then I have this arrowhead plant that doesn't seem happy wherever I put it. It keeps growing, but the leaves never stay straight up, and they're supposed to be pink. But it wasn't happy in the southern window, it wasn't happy in the western window, it's not happy here in the eastern window, so I don't know. But I do like this window though overall. I have a jade plant and a donkey tail and a gastro something. This one was my mom's, and it keeps pupping. She gave it to me because she took one of the pups out and put it in a pot, and she's like, here, I don't need this anymore. So now I have it, and it keeps pupping. It's still happy where I have it. She had it in an eastern window though too. And then I have a string of pearls, which is doing great. It's getting so long. Anyways, I like the string of pearls. They're so fun. And oh, this is a kalanchoe that is from my mom's plant, and it's still blooming. I showed it to you guys blooming a while back, and it still has a few blooms left. They're still there. This plant is older than me. My mom has had it for a really long time, and hers is in a teeny tiny pot. It's so cool. And then I have a snake plant that this was the start of it, and it did all of this. So it's very happy, and it's my favorite snake plant because it actually is doing what I want it to. And then up here I have a Saningo paper moon that's supposed to bloom, but it's never bloomed. But I like the plant itself now finally. I used to not really know if I liked it that much, but I put it in a bigger pot and it's just really growing a ton. I'll show you guys really quick how I water this because I take it down and then I water it in my shower. So wait just a second. Okay. So I water it down there and then I hang it up on one of these things. And it just works great because then it can drip just into the bathtub. He's still following me. He never follows me around this much. He's so silly. Oh my goodness. And I was thinking that as long as your shower thingy is sturdy enough, you could probably take these off so that way it doesn't drip on your shower curtain and get it dirty. But use one of these to hook on there and hang a plant on it too. Especially if, like with mine, I can push it into my shower more, and then I could have like more of them dripping into the shower. Just because like that's a problem that you have with hanging plants, you know? With this one, I just couldn't seem to be able to find or get a saucer to hold well in it. I have another one that I'll show you in a little while that actually has a saucer that is working well, but it's like a specific kind of saucer that I have to use for them that actually works. And then I just have a pothos that is kind of scrawny, but it's okay. Sentinel is playing in the shower. Oh my gosh. What are you doing? Okay, now we are basically where plants go to die. Because this is my husband's workroom, and I don't come in here because it's just kind of, it's a disaster. But things need to be watered right now. Some of them are doing okay, but this is one of my favorite plants. I don't know if you can really see it because it's in the window. The constant bane of all plant tubers is plants in windows. This plant, I just love the structure. It has to be supported. It's up on this, whatever you're called. This one is still alive. I need to go in and take care of it a little bit because it got a little too cold this winter, and so it lost some leaves, but it's coming back and it's growing really well. But yeah, this plant has to be supported on this one. It's some kind of a kalanchoe, I don't know, or some sort of a jade plant, but I'm guessing more jade plant at this point. It has such soft, beautiful leaves, and I love them. It's actually I don't know if you can tell, but it's kind of tinged with pink on the edges even. Oh, croton. That's a croton. I have another croton here that died because I neglected it this winter. It was like a stargazer or something. Stars, shining stars, I don't know. Something like that. And it was kind of pretty, but I neglected it too much. All of these plants just get a little neglected. But I also really like this plant. I'm starting to like it a little bit less as it's getting bigger, because it's just getting too tall and starting to look gangly. But I used to really like it, and I've had it for maybe 3 years now. You can see over here it's been trying to grow roots to, you know, plant itself out too. So I might be able to just cut it down and replant it. We'll see. Now to the kitchen. Let me turn off this light really quick. I need to water a few things in here, but I have my fiddle leaf fig, which we are actually about to turn this, and so I'm gonna have to move this fiddle leaf fig. I thought I could leave it here, but I think now I have to move it. We'll see. But I need to pop out the other leaf, actually both the leaves, and turn it, because we have more trays and things that we're starting. But we've moved some of our things out and we planted some things. We have a whole bunch of seedlings that are now outside that we transplanted, and we're getting ready to do some more. So I need to probably bring this table out and pop out both the leaves. But I have a bag of seeds and things. And I just got some pansies, not pansies, violas and some snapdragons. And so I need to plant those out probably tomorrow at least. But my little guppy plant, it was starting to bloom. Oh, look at all this. It's like trying to go crazy. It has a couple little buds on it, which would make it the second time it's bloomed this year, I think. And then I have, is that like a mammillaria or something? It's getting ready to bloom just like the other ones in my living room. And like you can see the little ring around it. Can you? This one is doing strange things. This one is getting all fuzzy. It's so fun. And then I have this, some sort of sansevieria. It needs to be watered. Everything needs to be watered right now. And then this echeveria, which is just, oh, I love echeverias. I'm not actually a huge fan of most succulents, but can you tell? Oh my goodness, I have so many for someone that doesn't really like succulents, but I love echeverias. And my firestorm sedums, let's see if we can focus in on you. My fire sedums are coloring up, but not the way that they normally do. Like the way that they're supposed to. It's turning more of a peach color. So, I mean, that's definitely more of a color that I like, with a little bit of like hot pink in there. Like that right there is like a hot pink almost. Like it's pretty close to a hot pink. And the rest of this is more of a peachy color. You can't really quite tell though, can you? That looks pretty close to real life. Alright, so, and then I have another string of bananas. Like, why do I have 2 string of bananas? I don't know. But, oh, I love this little doodad. It has a new little baby in there that I stuck in there. Because it was getting too big for the little spout part, so I stuck it in that part. But it has some little graftivarias and some sedums. And I don't know what this is, but it's my son's plant, and it's just so cool. I wonder if it's the baby version of the plant that I have in my husband's workroom. I'm betting so. And then this is a baby from this one, which also the one in this is a baby from it, and I have another baby in there from it. This one likes to make babies. There's actually a baby in there too, a couple of them. And then I have another Haworthia. And then, oh, here. Can we just check you out real quick? Come here, baby. Oh yeah. This donkey tail sedum is coloring up and it's getting ready to bloom. Check this out. Look at that. It's gonna be like some beautiful pink blooms. I'm so excited. And I don't know if you can tell, but it's colored up like this purpley pink on this green. Oh, it's so gorgeous. And then there's like all this new growth. So being in that western window, this is a western window by the way, it just has really colored up over here. And it's filling in the top finally. When I got it, it wasn't super full on the top, and it's kind of, it had lost a lot of its little leaves. So now it's filling in, and I I love it. I am so happy with this plant. And then I have another one of these. Oh, sorry, fig. Try not to touch your figs too much. They don't like it so much. But I have another one of these aloe hybrids, and this one you can see is kind of colored up a little bit. They turn more of a reddish color during the hotter times of the year, and it's just them being stressed out but also protecting themselves, and it's not bad for this kind of plant. So kind of like this one, it's not bad for it to color up. Same with the sedums, you know, they just do that. It's a way of protecting themselves. Also, it's kind of, it's like them showing you that they're stressed, but like some plants, like the sticks on fire, you do that on purpose to make them sticks on fire, right? So anyways, so I have a pothos and then a red Maranta. I can call you a Monstera. This red Maranta actually really likes it up here. I mean, there's a western window and that's the only light, and it's like, I don't know, it seems to be pretty happy. And this, what are you called? Oh my goodness, Scindapsus. This silver Scindapsus is growing over there all cool and being awesome, and some of it's growing up. I set it up there because it's not going to grab onto things, but you know, it's doing its thing. And same with this Hoya. This is the one that I have a saucer for it. I like to paint the saucer so that way it's white, but you can see it's a really deep saucer because this plant, it has to actually, I normally like to take it out and rinse it under my sink, just all the leaves and everything, and give it a bath. But now it's not really that feasible of an option to do that now since it's in this macrame holder. So I put a saucer underneath it so that way I can bottom water it. And I just go and I will clean off the leaves. I will do some of them every week, and so that way I'm not doing all of them at once because that's kind of a pain. But I just spray them and then I kind of just clean them off with a little rag, and that way they stay dust free and they're just happy. Over here I used to have two plants in this one, but I still only have this one. This is a type of, is it a type of Sansevieria? I have a name for it. Jacobsenia. Yeah, it's a Jacobsenii. That's what it is. It still has a little bit of color on here, but it turns this, oh, this one's still more colored. It turns this really pretty pink purple color, but it's just all green right now, and I'm not sure where I want to put it to make it color up again. It used to be right in the window and it stayed really colorful in there, but it's just gotten too long and it wasn't fitting in the window very well, so I had to move it. But, oh, up here I have more seeds. Can you tell we've been planting lots of seeds? But I have a Sansevieria, little bird's nest one, and also a maidenhair vine or a wire vine, which, let me give it some water real quick. You do not want this to dry out, believe me. Dries out, then it's dead. You have no second chances. Now that the fridge is on, I'll show you this plant up here. I just have another pothos. And then I have this. My husband was cleaning out an apartment a couple months ago for some reason with one of his friends. Anyways, there was this in there, so I have another orchid and it has a new leaf and it's so happy. So I'm very pleased about that. And we'll see, I think it needs to get probably another set of leaves before it will bloom. And then probably not until this winter, of course. But it's so pretty. I'm so happy because I love orchids. Ever since moving to this house, I've had not the best luck with them. And then amidst the supplements, I have this little peace lily that needs a little bit of some TLC, but my husband says that this is the most ironic plant that I have because it lives right next to water, and yet I'm always forgetting to water it. So I've finally gotten good at remembering to water it now because any extra water that's in a cup, I just put it in there before I put it in the dishwasher, and that's been keeping it happy. And so now it's actually getting lots of new leaves and it's coming back to life, so I did not kill it, not yet anyways. Up here I have this little miniature stein that I have some of that Pilea and some of that maidenhair or Bridalsvale Tradescantia in here. Oh, and then also I have another kind of Tradescantia, which the mother plant of this isn't doing so good, but this one has roots and it's just one leaf. It is so crazy. And then also I have a little Marimo. I put this one up here. It's hard to see this Marimo there. It has a couple other little babies that are in there. In my laundry room, my husband made some lights, but he doesn't like them. They're not doing the trick for him. Like, the plants don't seem as happy underneath these lights. They're a purple grow light, but I mean, it's ugly, so I guess it's fine that, I guess it's fine that they're not working because this thing is pretty ugly, so, he'll take it down, and then I'm hoping that maybe we can just get some sort of a strip lighting that's a grow light underneath there or something. We'll see. We'll have an update on that eventually, maybe one day. But I have this cool plant that it was getting enough sunlight. Now this is blocking it, but this window up here, it shines right down on all of this, and that actually gives us a couple hours of sun every day. That's like direct sunlight, which is awesome. And then I have my old man cactus. I feel like I'm yelling over the fish tank. Excuse me. And then we have some worm things going on for some earthworms. And then my husband's friend gave him this huge aloe that I'm going to be repotting soon. And also, this is one of my angel wing begonias that I want to repot soon because it finally, I think, needs to be repotted. I've had this for almost 8 years now because I got it this summer, like when I moved into my husband's house when we got married. Yeah, so almost 8 years now. Just about. Anyways, my aunt gave it to me though. And I love it. This is a looking glass angel wing begonia. I'll show you a prettier one of it. That's a cutting from this one. It needs to be watered. It's a little droopy. But it's actually, it needs to be watered because I was going to repot this one as well. But you can see how shiny, and then the underside of the leaves are all pink. It's really a beautiful plant. I like it a lot. With some Tradescantia, just some purple heart. Speaking of purple heart Tradescantia, this one is blooming. It's actually a whole bunch of ones because I cut them and I put them in the fish tanks. This one, it's still going through a cycle and trying to get enough, whatchamacallits. I want to get some also cinclets for it though. Anyways, I also would like to get a top for it because I have to give this one a couple gallons of water every week. Anyways, I'm always having to fill it up and it's kind of a pain. So this is what our fish tank in the living room used to look like. You can see that it's completely coated in algae, but that's because it's going through its little process and it's working on figuring things out and growing some snails, and then we also need to get some cinclets for this one as well. But pretty soon it'll be done with this and it won't be ugly anymore and it'll be pretty because I actually have a pretty little landscape in here. Oh, so I have this Tradescantia, which I took off of one that I bought and it just was not taking in the pots. I still have it in a pot, but I put some of it in here because it just was not taking, and I knew it would take in the fish tank water. And of course it did. There's also some pothos in here. The pothos really helps other plants to root in, so it just puts off like some sort of a chemical that makes it's like a rooting hormone basically. Like this asparagus fern, and then these Isabella peperomia or whatever. This needs to be watered. And then I have a Sansevieria cylindrica up there. Many of you may have seen my ZZ plant video. This is that ZZ plant from that video. I have only a couple of the stalks from it, the bulbs that are, well, no, there's another one. There's like 3 of them that have really actually recovered. This one is doing okay. I'm still not sure about this one, but I think it's going to be all right. You know, there's this one finally bit the dust this last month, so I need to take care of that before I start getting any pests. But I think finally, this was a ZZ plant that had rotted out actually at the store. A whole bunch of the bulbs did. I got it for $3, I think. And so I figure I'll try it. I'll see if I can save this plant. It was such a mess. All those bulbs were just mush when I took them out. But if you want to watch that video, I'll have it linked below or something, maybe if I remember. Right here I just have the stick left from that echeveria that has all the babies, that purple one, because it has a baby on there. And then whatever this is, I don't even know what that is anymore. And it's pretty enough to be in here, I guess, where I don't have to see it all the time. And then I just accidentally killed that Dracaena kind of thing because I forgot about it. And I remembered that I had gotten it before and it was such high maintenance and I killed it because it was a pain. And then I just went ahead and killed it again. So there you go. And then we have this money tree that I'm still debating whether I want to just repot it or something, or stick it in the fish tank. I don't know. Then some African violets, and then this Tradescantia. This is the plant that I had gotten, and I'm about to take this one off too and stick it in the fish tank. But it keeps trying to grow and do things. And then I have an ogre ear. Oh, and then laundry stuff. I almost forgot to show you and give you an update on this African violet that I got. This was the only plant that I got for myself for my birthday. I just love these wavy little flowers. None of the flowers have died yet. Well, never mind. These ones are on their way out over here. But it's just so beautiful. I love African violets. They're one of my favorites. They love it in my southern window, just about a foot away from the southern window. But with the Umca over there, I have a hard time being able to fit them over there, of course. So, some of them are in my laundry room, they just don't bloom that well when they're not in enough light for me. This is actually like an orchid pot. My son collects rocks for me and sets them in here, so that's why there's a bunch of gravel. But anyways, it's grown since it's been in here too, and the leaves are doing great. I take it out of this and I just leave it in the plastic nursery pot, and then I stick it in some water and I bottom water it. So it just does just fine. And it's just so beautiful. I love this. Ugh. African violets just definitely have my heart. Now to the bathroom. So I, of course, still have this peace lily in here, which does amazing and loves it in here. This has a northern window, and that's it. But this room is very bright, as you can see. I mean, I have white tile, and so it bounces everything around. Same with my voice, so we're nice and echoey. But the plants just love it. And this peace lily is just always growing. It's kind of crazy and wild, and I probably should take some of these rocks away from it so that way it can bush out a little bit better, but I'm pretty darn happy with it. And then I still have the Sansevieria next to my toilet. And I still haven't cut off the one that's drooping over, so that's how good of a plant mom I am. But it's very happy, and it has a little bit of new growth too, which is nice. And then I put my creeping Charlie over here, and man, does it love it in here. It's just going nuts. It was doing pretty well in my room, but I didn't want quite so many plants in there. It just seemed like a little too much, and I've been wanting a plant up here. I wanted to actually hang one right there, which this one I can hang it, has things on it where I can hang it, so that way I can still get to my bath salts that I keep over there. But it's just so happy and it's beautiful and I love it. And then in my shower caddy, I still have this ivy. It is growing, so that's good. I'm just still worried that's going to die because it's an ivy. I have this lone little Sansevieria that actually has some, it's in here because it's an ugly Sansevieria. My mom got a clearance Sansevieria and she took it apart, and we put the ugly part in this pot, and it's getting some new growth, and it's just in here because it's a good air purifier. This part's actually has a new leaf too, and these are all new leaves, and this has a new leaf. So yeah, actually 2 new leaves, so that's pretty cool. So this is my plant area in my bedroom that I have most of my plants. I normally have a grow light right here, and the plants love it, but it's downstairs for the seeds because they need it really bad. But these plants are still doing okay without having it on. Oh man, this prayer plant is just, this green Maranta is going crazy. Look at how big these leaves are. It's so awesome. It loves it in here. It was doing just fine being on the darker side of my fireplace, but now that it's up here, it is just going crazy. It has so much new growth all the time. I was worried that was going to die, and so I just put it up here just to see what it would do, and it's just exploded with growth. It's phenomenal. And then I have an aglaonema, which loves it up here too. It's growing, it's thriving, it's happy. Not thriving as much as this one, but you know, it's still doing great. And then I have a little, whatchamacallit, philodendron that's growing. So this is, all of this is new growth, and this is all new growth. There's some new growth back here. And then I have, this is my other variegated Peperomia obtusifolia. And this one, I like the growth of it better. It's not getting as much light, and so it's growing slower. And so I like it better because I like this more shorter, compact form of this plant. I like how it looks. It's more aesthetically pleasing to me. However, this Marandala or whatever prayer plant thing, it's not doing it for me anymore, you guys. It was doing just fine, but now it's crisping up and it's not happy. The upstairs just gets too hot for it now, and I'm gonna have to move it. I'll move it into my craft room and then I'll see how it does, because it needs to stay cooler, and right now it's not happy and it's very, very upset. So I will move this up here, and let's go ahead and do that and let's see what it looks like. I mean, I really like the height. That's awesome. I need to pull it away from the wall a little bit though. Now it'll be nice and happy. I would like to put some top dressing on it though, since now you can see the soil so well. Now we can move you over. This little cylindrica. That kind of fills in the space a little bit, I guess. So yeah, that looks kind of cute. Oh, and then I have a big old peace lily and dog toys. And I have one more sansevieria, and it has some new growth. It just lives over here. There's a western window just like right there. And it doesn't get any direct light, of course. And it's still happy. It gets light from this though. So whether or not that's any kind of light that will make it grow, it's still growing. And then down here I have one more plant, the very last plant in my whole collection. Oh no, wait. Oh, I didn't show you my, I didn't show you my air plants. Okay, we'll go show you my air plants in a second. But firstly, there's a cat scratcher because I have to keep them all over my house so the cats won't scratch the furniture. And I have another air plant, not air plant, airplane plant or spider plant. And it just looks so happy, it's doing good. Sentinel was chewing on it a whole bunch, and then he was teaching the kitten to chew on it. So I put the cat scratcher there, and now they don't chew on the plant. So that was pretty cool. So you can see there's all these chew marks on it all over the place, but it's already recovering, so I'm very happy about that. Now for the very last plants in my collection is my air plants. I have a candle in here. My cousin's son made this actually for me for my birthday, which is so sweet. I just don't quite have a candle holder that can hold it right now, but there you go. I have a few little air plants, and I use these, we actually use these for holding eggs. My son likes to eat boiled eggs out of them. But I have, this one is more of a purple variety one, and anyways, I don't know what any of these kinds are. I used to know, but I've forgotten. So there's my air plants. I hope you had fun coming along with me on this houseplant expedition extravaganza. I don't have a lot of rare varieties. Actually, I don't think I have any rare varieties. Well, I think that Angel Wing Begonia, the looking glass one, might be kind of rare-ish. I don't know. But most of my houseplants are pretty darn common because that's what I like. I don't like spending lots of money on houseplants. I just like to have them and enjoy them, and I buy the ones that I really like, and I try not to kill the ones that I really like. So anyways, that's all of my houseplants, and let me know which one's your favorite, I guess. I really don't know what one's my favorite right now. I have a lot of favorites. I'm actually starting to really like my grape ivy. I loved it at first, of course, because it's just so cool, but then it started dying, and then I was just like, I don't know, I can't commit to you any longer. But now that it's growing, I'm really starting to get a fondness for it. But I really like all my plants, and I like actually that my shelves are taken down now in my living room. so that way I can see my Black Prince philodendron, because man, he's so pretty. I love that one too. And it's growing and doing so good. I'm so proud of it. But anyways, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it fun. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna make this one big long video. It's gonna take forever to upload, but I think that it might be really fun. For those of you who like really long videos, this is gonna be a video for you. Mom, I'm so sorry you had to sit through all of this, but I know you have time right now, so yeah. I hope you guys have a really great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye!